Hello, hi, how are you? Welcome to Coffee Chat with me, Catherine Oster. I'm so grateful for everybody that is joining me live and for those of you that are watching this in the future. What else is possible beyond what we could ever imagine? So if you're watching, hey guys, I wonder who's with me. Mom's here. Hi, Mom. Can you type me a comment? I want to see if I can see the comments. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coffee Chat. And for those of you watching this in the future, oh, hey, yes, I can see comments. God, I'm so excited when that happens. Facebook can be very interesting, especially with live videos, and I don't always get to see comments, so I'm always super excited when I can see comments. Okay, for those of you watching this in the future, I'm doing this as a Facebook Live, and so it might be weird because you don't see the comments, but anyway. So today I actually wanted to talk to you guys about control. Control. One of the most prevalent, most common ways that people can try to control you or that you control yourself is by judgment. So when you overstep somebody's boundaries, when you are doing or choosing something that person is not willing to choose or do or become aware of or whatever, it makes them uncomfortable, they will judge you so you get back into your little box and make them comfortable again. So those judgments are, you're such a bad mom. How dare you be so mean to your kids? For example, if you're in the grocery store and your child is having a tantrum because they want to have something that maybe you don't think they should have at that moment. First of all, there's a few things going on with that. Your child is trying to control you with their emotions by being hysterical. Hysteria is another form of control that people will do. So your child is going to try to control you with hysteria. Hey, Robert. And then another mother that's seeing this, if they are not willing to, if that's making them uncomfortable, they're not willing to choose. If they're controlled by children's hysteria, they're going to judge you. And they might say it out loud. They might tell you, just give them the goddamn candy. Or they're going to project judgments at you. And which is very energetic. Hi, Lil. And so there might not be any words, but you will become aware of their energetic projection of you that you're being a bad mom. So then, this is interesting. So then you might actually start judging yourself as being a bad parent. All of this is about control. So all of a sudden you find yourself thinking or feeling bad or guilty, like, oh my God, I'm such a bad mom, how dare I? But on the other hand, you're like, my kid is not allowed to act like this, and I'm not rewarding this behavior with the candy or the gum. And so what are you going to choose and what works for you? Now, if you're not willing to be comfortable making other people around you uncomfortable or having them be upset, then you are likely going to always be controlled by their actions, by their judgments. And so then you will just give your kid the candy and then everybody's comfortable. But are you happy with that? Because as your child, this is funny that I'm talking about kids right now because I actually wasn't going to go there. But anyway, what are we aware of? As your child begins to know that you are not, that they control you with hysteria, they will always continue to do that. And they will become, okay, I think I'm back on now, guys. I'm having internet connection. The internet is trying to control me. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Okay, So now we were talking about children and them controlling you, their parents, by being hysterical. So, so you can see how other people, including brilliant little kids and babies, will control you. Now, I'm not saying don't look after your child. I mean, of course, you need to make sure, like, when they start crying, use your awareness. Ask them, do they need a diaper change? Do they need to be fed something else that's not candy? Or are they just hysterically trying to control you? So another way that people will control you is through the silent treatment or through withdrawing. People also like to use being pathetic as a form of control. And there's so many ways. It's so interesting. So probably even after you watch this video or listen to it, you're going to start to become aware of all of these things and all the ways that people might be controlling you. Now, if it's working for you, that's okay. Like if it really doesn't work for you, for your child, like if it works for you, for your child to be in control in the relationship, that's cool. I mean, you don't need to change anything. This is really all about what works for you. So I'm going to talk, last week I talked about my relationship with my husband and how we finally, we've been together 21 years and how we have gotten, hi Jim, how we have gotten out of controlling each other in our relationship, and how that's created greater, and how that's invited both of us to discover what lights us up individually. And Travis, baking and loving that, and me choosing what works for me in the relationship. We now contribute to each other. We don't control each other. But it's been a bit of a rough go in discovering that. So Travis, now I'm not a non-guilty party here. I have done things to try to control him, mostly with anger. Anger is another form of control. Another way that people will try to control you by being angry at you. And anger is actually my favorite way of trying to control, especially Travis. Okay, but I'm going to talk about his controlling of me, and he would try to control me with the silent treatment. Now, and he wouldn't talk to me for days. And then at the end of it, I would be apologizing to him for I don't even know for what I was apologizing for, but I know that it was something that I didn't do. Like, for example, one night it's so funny that I clearly remember this. One night he stayed out really late with friends. I mean, I think this was even before we got married. And it was fine. I mean, but I was a little bit worried about where he was and how he was getting home. Because, we drank back in the day a lot. And sometimes he would drive home drunk. I mean, I was definitely guilty of that too. But in the morning, he wasn't home yet. And I was kind of upset and just annoyed that he didn't give me the information of where he was or what he was doing and how he was getting home. Now, so when he got home, I was doing my anger control, a little bit pissed. I'm like, where were you and what were you doing? And why in the hell didn't you tell me what was going on? And he just immediately gave me the silent treatment. So that by the end of 2 days, I was apologizing to him for being upset with him, his actions and being out. And after a while, I started noticing this pattern. This was a pattern that we did where I would confront him in some way. I would make him uncomfortable. Sometimes it would happen too when I would go to horse shows. So I was choosing something for me. He was staying home, getting his work done on the farm. I would go to a horse show or a riding clinic, and I would come home and he wouldn't talk to me for days. So then I would apologize for going to the horse show. I'm like, okay, this is really messed up here. What's going on? And so falling into coming across the tools of Access Consciousness, I could actually look at and ask questions in our relationship. It made me more conscious of what I was choosing in my life, in my relationship with him. And so was I going to let him control me with his silent treatment? I did for a while, but then I still kept choosing things. And I had to be willing for him to not be okay with me choosing what I was choosing. Now, I was never choosing anything that hurt him in any way. What I was choosing was things for me, doing the horse shows, riding clinics, traveling to access classes. And I had to be okay with him, like even divorcing me for choosing these things that I wanted to do in my life. And like I said in a post that I made, like we stepped on each other's toes. We tried to control each other and it didn't work. Hey, Kara. And then finally, now he didn't choose to leave me, obviously, we're still married, but he had to then be willing to be okay with what I chose. That invited him to choose greater and different things for himself, which like the baking, and now he has cows that he loves. And so it's just really interesting. So it was noticing how he was controlling me, and I was also trying to control him in the relationship. Was that creating anything fun for each one of us? Hell no. Choosing beyond that and contributing to each other has made our relationship so much greater. And now we actually have fun together. So I'm just inviting you, and also where in your life, are you controlling yourself and your choices by having a lack of money? Are you creating a lack of money so you can control yourself, what you can choose and what you have available to you in your life? So if you are, and so that's just really interesting. I never actually considered that before. So therefore, you will create things showing up in your life that's always creating a lack of money. If you're trying to control based on your money flows, which is really interesting. So these are things that we can look at